Hey guys, welcome to vlog number 5. Today what we're going to look at is how to choose a land broker to represent you in the sale of your property. So this isn't a pitch to try to get you to use LandCo for everything. We understand that we're not the best fit for every property out there. Instead, what we're trying to do is provide some valuable information on what we believe is the best process to go through, the best questions to ask to align yourself with the best brokerage to represent you in the sale of your property. So what we've done is we've identified a list of 5 things to consider or research before choosing a land brokerage to represent you. Number 1, make sure that the broker and brokerage that you choose specialize in exactly what you have for sale. You know, if I'm going to sell my house, I call a residential broker. If I'm going to sell an office, I call a commercial broker. The same thing applies to land. If you want the best person to represent you, make sure that you choose someone that excels and focuses only on what you have for sale. Number 2, make sure that you research the individual that would represent you as much as you do the company. The land brokerage industry in general is very segmented. So just because you have a huge company doesn't mean that you control different parts of the market. So it's equally important to you that you have the right individual representing you, because because a company sells $1 billion worldwide, they may not sell anything where you're at. So ask that individual broker questions like, how much did you sell last year? Or how long have you been with the company? What'd you do before that? Get to know the individual as much as you know the company, because they're going to be the ones that are truly representing you. Number 3, research the company that will be representing you. While it may be more important to align yourself with the right individual, it's still important who they work for, right? So a few things that we like to do and ask is make sure that that company is kind of kept up with the changing environment. Look at their website, make sure it's modern. Look at their promotional work to make sure it's good. Don't fall for fancy keywords. Look at the material that they've done for yourself and see if you like it. Then also go and look at their social reach, how many Facebook fans they have, if they're active on Instagram, that sort of thing. It's a good way to gauge their current relevance in your area. So a company with 1,000 fans versus 20,000 fans, that'll give you a good gauge on how relevant they currently are in that market. Another important thing to ask is how big is their internal in-house email list. So it's one thing to get someone to follow you on Facebook. It's another thing to get them to take one extra step and tell you exactly what they're looking for, call you or sign up on your website. That list is more important to us than any other list. We sell about 90% of our properties to people that are on our in-house email list. Right now, I think we're about 10 to 11,000 people on that email list, but that number is more important to us than anything. So ask them how big their current list is. It also gives you kind of a good indication of how organized the company is, just that they have it and they can show you it and all that stuff. So very important to do your research on the company as well as the individual. Number 4, look at how your broker priced your property. This one's sort of an insider trick to identify amateurs in our industry, but when you look at how somebody priced something, it should be based on factual information. And taking it one step further, you should be able to see that data from recent land sales that they have. And a lot of people just simply don't have that information, and they have a hard time faking their way through it. So what you end up hearing is things like, well, the farm down the road sold for this much, and we think yours is a little nicer, so let's try to sell it for this. Or, how much do you want to sell it for? Okay, let's try to sell it for that. If those are the answers that you're getting and you're not seeing factual data, then you're talking to the wrong person. Number 5, does the broker have personal first-hand experience as a buyer or seller of farms and not just a broker? I think it's only over the last 2 or 3 years that I've come to realize how important this is. I think it's impossible to fully understand and be educated in your industry if you haven't done it yourself with your own money. A quote that stuck with me over the last 8 to 10 years, I think it was Tim Ferriss, but I'm not even sure who said it anymore, but said, never take advice from somebody who hasn't successfully implemented that same advice in their lives. And I've heard that same sentiment echoed from so many local business owners. And I believe the same thing applies to the land industry. If you haven't done it yourself, it's hard to be fully educated on the industry. So is the broker, practicing what he preaches, or is he preaching just to get your listing? Anyways, I hope you guys found this helpful. If you have any other topics that you want us to cover, just hit us up. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.